Hi, welcome to Audio Letters. This is a quiet space for the weary souls, for people trying to heal, grow, slow down, and make sense of life. I'm not an expert, just someone who has experienced life deeply, and I'm sharing the things I'm learning along the way. So, wherever you are right now, I hope this gives you a little peace that you need for the day. For today's audio letter, I want to talk about something that I think so many people feel these days, especially people around my age or even younger. The feeling that somehow you're behind in life. Maybe you feel behind financially, behind in your career, behind in success, behind in relationships, behind compared to everyone else around you. And honestly, I think we only start feeling behind the moment we start comparing our lives to other people's timelines. Because before comparison enters the picture, you are simply living your life. But then you open up your social media accounts and you see people buying homes, you see others getting married, traveling, starting their businesses, living the life you wish you had. And before you even realize it, your brain has already started sabotaging you. You start to feel like life is a competition, like you need to catch up or you need to prove something, and that everybody else figured life out already, except for you. Sometimes the pressure becomes so loud that you stop appreciating your own progress because you're too fixated on what's missing in your life. When I'm tempted to think this way, I sit down and become honest about my present reality. Because yes, there are still things in my life that I worry about. I wonder sometimes if I'm progressing enough. There were moments when I questioned myself. But here is something I've learned about all of this. Sometimes the results that we are looking for may not have fully shown up yet in the form of success or money, but you have grown in different areas of your life. As for me, I observed how differently I handle problems now compared to how I used to do it in the past. The way I regulate my emotions is different now than how I did it last year. The way I recover from any setback or pain is different now from how I used to do it before. I've also observed that my skills have improved, my mindset has matured, my discipline has strengthened. Do you see how our progress usually starts within? Something that people may not easily see in you. In fact, inner progress is much more valuable than the tangible things that have improved in your life. I know that sometimes it feels like nothing is happening in your life, but if you look back a year later, you will see how much progress you've made. The progress is already happening. It just hasn't arrived in the form you expected yet. And I think many people forget that. We think success only counts when it becomes visible. But invisible growth is still growth. Healing is growth. Consistency is growth. Showing up when life is hard is growth. And trying again after disappointment is growth. If you're someone who wakes up every day trying your best, trying to improve your life, trying to survive and do what you can with what you have, then I think you deserve to give yourself some credit because you're doing so much better, right? You probably already have plans, right? You have set your goals and you have these wonderful dreams that you believe in, and you're quietly working behind the scenes. Do you realize how many people aren't willing to do the work consistently for themselves? But you do, right? You keep trying, you keep showing up, even when nobody claps for you yet. Those things are so important. So, whenever there are negative thoughts that enter your head, don't allow it to live freely inside your mind. You challenge them immediately. If your mind tells you something destructive, contradict it. Refuse to let those thoughts make a home inside you. As for me, I would rather believe in possibilities than continue believing thoughts that make me feel awful about my life and myself. Because who around you benefits when you're negative, when you're spiraling down? So whenever you catch yourself thinking, I'm behind, stop and ask yourself, behind who? Behind in what? Who decided what timeline you're supposed to follow? And here's another important truth. We cannot compare ourselves to other people because we all have different battlegrounds in life. Some people had support, some others didn't. Some people spent their 20s building careers, and some people spent their 20s surviving trauma. Some people had the privilege to focus on success early, and others had to focus on healing first. And maybe your most productive years were spent just trying to emotionally survive. Maybe this season right now for you is rest. Maybe this season is about healing or rebuilding. And there is nothing shameful about that. In fact, I think it's an insult to your own life experience when you reduce your journey into a comparison. Because you know what? Your story is unique. Your timing is unique. And your purpose is unique. And I think part of why people feel so much pressure is because we live in a society that is so obsessed with titles and positions. If you will observe around you, people admire status, they like recognition and popularity and power. And sometimes we unconsciously start believing that we need those things in order to feel valuable too. So our goals stop becoming personal fulfillment and they start to become validation. People chase things not because they genuinely align with them or because they bring joy to them, but because they want to feel respected, chosen, seen. They want to feel enough. But that is why living for yourself takes courage, real courage. It means you stop allowing society to define success for you. You define it. Maybe success for you is peace, having the freedom, living a slow life, having a healed nervous system. Maybe success means having a quiet home and being present for your loved ones. And those things matter. If you are becoming a better person than you were yesterday, that already means something. I'll tell you honestly, this is not a loud thought that entered my mind. It's like a small voice at the back of my head, and it says, Vern, you're 37, you have 3 children. Who would choose you? It must be so hard to choose you. And it was just a moment, but when I reflected on that thought later, I realized how insulting it was to myself because, excuse me, who is Vern? Do I suddenly forget who I am? Girl, you're badass. You're one of the strongest women I know. You have depth, passion, you have the drive and the creativity, you are resilient, and you have this life experience and wisdom you earned. You survived things that could have broken you. But there is only one you. Only one person with your exact heart story. There's only one you who have this soul. And this kind of uniqueness cannot be replicated. How dare you think less of yourself when you worked hard all these years to become the person that you are right now? I think we need to learn to start telling ourselves, how dare you think less of yourself, right? I think we're not giving ourselves enough credit for surviving things. So now whenever those things try to enter your mind, remind yourself of what you have instead of obsessing over what you lack. Look at your life. Look at the growth you've achieved, the strength you carry now. Because at the end of the day, people do not love you because of your titles or your money or your achievements. The people who genuinely love you because of who you are, your energy, your presence, and the kind of heart that you have. So if you've been feeling behind lately, I want you to breathe for a second and stop attacking yourself because you are not behind. You are exactly where you're supposed to be right now. And if deep down you feel like there are things you want to improve in your life, then this moment is also the perfect place to begin again. Life is not a race with limited spots. There is room for everyone at the top. Believe that. Everyone has their own timing and their own path to take. And maybe your breakthrough is simply arriving differently than you expected. So please learn to love this current version of yourself. This version that is still messy, that is still healing and learning and figuring things out. Because this version of you deserves love too. Maybe one day you look back at this season and realize that while you thought you were falling behind, you were actually in the process of becoming the person you were always meant to be. Thank you for spending this moment with me. I really enjoyed bringing all of these thoughts together and thought that someone would be able to breathe a sigh of relief or feel a little more confident about themselves through these audio letters. Please do share them to your loved ones. Take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next audio letter. Signing off with love, Vern of Wild Lule.